In a letter addressed to the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, the group noted that rather than being partners in the progress of salvaging the nation's oil economy from the hands of saboteurs, the Navy was frustrating the efforts of the private pipeline security outfits for them to fail. However, in a statement on Thursday, the Nigerian Navy's Director of Information, Rear Admiral Adedotun Ayovoran, stated that the service has been combating oil theft and safeguarding the nation's economic assets collectively with legitimate stakeholders. The statement partly read, and I quote, "It is on record that the NN has always worked harmoniously with all maritime stakeholders nationally, regionally, and internationally. The coming on board of private maritime stakeholders for the protection of critical onshore economic assets in the sole interest of the nation's economy is a known development, provided professionalism and standard operating procedures are upheld strictly. Hence, it is complete fallacy to allege the contrary via sponsored, ill-conceived, and uncorroborated publications. Evidently, the Nigerian Navy, as the lead agency for the security of Nigeria's maritime environment, has been at the forefront of galvanizing legitimate maritime stakeholders for the collective fight against crude oil theft and to secure our national economy's assets. This is obvious with the various past and ongoing operations and exercises." And it goes on and on and on. But if you notice, repeatedly, the key word has been legitimate stakeholders. Legitimate stakeholders. Legitimate stakeholders. And does that inadvertently say that this Ohanese group that is saying that the Navy is frustrating their efforts at securing Nigeria's oil assets are illegitimate? It appears to be a war of words between the two groups now.
Well, you know, see, when it comes to anything that has to do with our waterways and oil assets, you discover that there are lots of compromises here and there. Lots of compromises, and it's just a matter of interest. What you see, both the Nigerian Navy and here's a think tank, it's just a matter of interest. And you ask yourself a question on what locus does the interest Ohanese think tank have to protect the assets, oil assets of the country. Of course, we know the Navy actually have, of course, the oil assets of the country within the waterways. The Navy actually have this authority by law to so protect these assets and all that. What locus are they standing to make some of these claims they have made and all that? But you now discover that if they have a pipeline contract, a pipeline surveillance contract to carry out and all that, there should be a way that they can collaborate with the Navy so there won't be a clash of interest.
Right.
But of course, let me tell you, some of these things, some of these problems you see that fall into the media is because of the stealing that is carried out in this system, whose interest is more protected. That is why you see that they rush and they do everything possible to have these things. The stealing ongoing in the system. So once your stealing is outweighing my own stealing, we'll have issues. Because let's be honest to ourselves. Let's be honest. We know the corrupt activities some naval officials engage themselves in on our waterways. They cannot say that they are completely innocent of some of the allegations against them. But of course, the same people who are making these allegations against them are also part and parcel of these illegal movements. See, we have a long way to go in this country. It's not what this country needs. This country needs a complete character reformation. We have too many people in this country with bad character, and that has accumulated into the plethora of problems we are having. And these persons find themselves in our civil service, they find themselves in our military, they find themselves on our streets with this same bad character, wanting to get rich out of the country. That's why you're having this, the Ohanese accusing the Navy are accusing the Ohanese group. What kind of country are we running? What kind of system is this?
But if the Navy is the, what's the word? Yeah, the chief, let me coin a term. If the Navy is the chief security officer of the Nigerian waterways, do they not also have the right to run the rule over whatever private security organization is contracted to protect pipelines? Because like they said, they are working with legitimate stakeholders. In this regard, rather, stakeholders will be other private security organizations who are manning pipelines and securing oil installations around the nation. If the Navy is the key person with regards to securing our waterways, do they not have a right to say, you're not legitimate, we do not want to work with you, and then go ahead to pass the same information to the company or the individuals who own the oil wells or installations that these groups were contracted to secure?
If the Navy was effective as they are supposed to be, why do we need private security, private contractors to man our surveillance of this pipeline on the waterways?
There you go.
But because of the ineffectiveness of Navy and of our security apparatus, because of the compromises here and there, we needed to get private contractors to handle these things.
Yes, akin to.
And if these people have gotten the private contract for pipeline surveillance on waterways, the Navy cannot, on the strength of that, declare them to be illegitimate, where they have such powers given to them by the president. So, you see the issues we are saying, the problems we have. The failure of the military to handle and tackle these issues made us get a private security firm.